let's go. Hello, today we are going to talk about fresh foods, whole foods let's say. These foods are the foods that are closest to their natural state. So they have literally come out of the ground, have been cut off the animal and served to us or our dogs. To begin with, let's talk about negatives. We can get those out of the way. One of the big negatives to feeding our dogs fresh whole foods is storage. We must keep these foods fresh, so that means we're going to need fridges, freezers, and if we've got dogs that are larger than 30 kilos, you guys will understand that they take a lot of feeding and they can be eating over a kilo of food a day. Now that takes some storage. You've got to imagine 10 kilos is probably this big in raw food, and you've got to pop that in a little drawer in their fridge freezer in the kitchen. Fortunately, I have a chest freezer and that helps me no end, but that is one of the negatives I find about feeding fresh food, and that is storage of this fresh food and keeping it fresh, as it were. Also, knowledge is another one. There is a lot of yes, no's, maybes, I don't know about raw feeding or fresh feeding and things like that. My answer to that is to find someone you trust, find someone that you believe they know what they're talking about, they do their research. One thing I sort of want to hit on is perhaps Facebook groups. Yes, these people are absolutely brilliant and a lot of them do know what they're going on about. However, you know, all of our dogs are individual and we have to work with them on an individual basis. These people that comment on these posts and also other social media sites, they don't see your individual dog. What worked for them may not work for you, so you have to understand that you may have to be doing things and manipulate certain aspects of what they're talking about to work for your dog. The smell and how messy it is. It is quite bloody. You are dealing with animal parts and body parts and meat and gore, and it can be quite messy at times, especially if you're feeding DIY, so you are literally touching testicles and liver and kidney and all these things. But however, not to scare anyone or put anyone off, you can buy it in minced format where they call it 80-10-10, so that is a complete meal all in one, and you just literally get out the packet, pop it in the bowl. These are what I see lots and lots of people going towards. There is a negative to feeding completes, however we'll talk about that another time. It's not to do with the content of the completes, well it is kind of, but it's just to do with not being able to clean their teeth, and I believe oral health is one of the top topics and the top things to keep your dog healthy. Moving on, reliability sourcing. So I'm going to bring up dogs that have allergies or sensitivities to food types throughout the range. So if your dog is allergic to chicken, beef, turkey, etc., you're going to find it hard to find a reliable source for novel proteins because there's not an abundance of them. They're not mass farmed novel proteins. By novel proteins I mean something that your dog has never seen. So things like venison tends to be a novel protein, goat, rabbit, pheasant, these types of things tend to be novel proteins that our dogs haven't come into contact with much. So foods like beef, chicken, turkey, duck, these are really available foods, so you can kind of just pick them up wherever you want. But also, farming cannot give us an infinite amount of animals to feed ourselves and our dogs. The human food chain will always come first, so they'll make sure that's fully stocked. So if there's a shortage, so this year there's been a shortage in lamb because last year we had a really bad winter, loads of lambs died, all the ewes aborted one lamb, so they only had one. Thank you, Holly, for that information. I took that away from your talk the other day. So that is a problem. So you've got to remember that the environment is going to affect how these animals grow, and also the environment is going to affect how much of these animals are around at the time. So reliability, yes, can be a problem sometimes. Another one is when you go away on holiday. So if you go away out in caravans, if you go away camping, if you're just going away on holiday and you're taking your dogs with you, the storage of this food, again, storage is a problem because not everywhere you go is going to have a freezer for you to put this food in. For somebody that's got a Chihuahua, let's say, this doesn't tend to be too much of a problem because in caravans and these types of things, you've got little freezers and you can put a little amount of food in. I mean, Chihuahuas will only go through, I guess, I don't know, perhaps eat a kilo a week, not even that. They go for a very, very small amount of food, so it's not too bad to store. But you get a big dog over 30 kilos again, it's going to be a problem. You've got to lug a freezer around with you, I guess, to feed your dogs. I will do a video on alternatives to fresh whole food feeding, and I am an advocate for you have to feed the best you can with the circumstances you've got. That is negatives out the way. Let's move on to positives. Positives are you know exactly what is in your meal. If you're making or doing DIY, you know exactly what you're putting into that food. With the fresh food manufacturers, I haven't found one yet where you can't ring them up and ask them what's in their food. Percentages seems to be quite a tender topic, but you can ring them up and ask them exactly what goes into their food, and they know exactly what's in that food. If you ring up kibble manufacturers, it can be a bit like, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's this, I'm sure it's that, it should be, it definitely could be, you know. Those types of words, should, could, woulda, you know, they're not very good words. You need a definitive yes, that's exactly what's in that food, especially if you're dealing with dogs, again, with sensitivities or allergic reactions or other types of alignments and need special diets. You need to know exactly what is in their food. And another thing is it's varied and interesting. So if you're feeding a raw diet, you can pick loads of different random meats and proteins and sizes and shapes and bones and all types of different things to feed your dog. They can have a very big varied diet. I also agree with variation 100%. The more varied diet you can create, the better your dog will be. And I mean variation over time. I don't mean you need to be putting 100 ingredients in your dog's bowl in one feed. That's not realistic, and it's extremely hard to do. I believe that once you've had to have loads of ingredients in a bowl, but now I just feed variation over a week or two, which works really well and it helps me no end. It's excellent enrichment, so it keeps your dog happy, especially when you're feeding bones and something for them to chew on. You know, they enjoy their food. It keeps them, again, happy. It releases endorphins, hormones around the body, so it makes them feel really, really good. Yeah, this one's tender. I suppose it will be. Saving lives. So whole fresh foods can save lives, and by this I mean that feeding this way works well with your body. So feeding this way works well with your canine's body, and it keeps them, it can keep them in homeostasis if it's fed well. By homeostasis I mean keeps them in balance, so it's all in check and their body knows what they're doing with everything. It can get rid of things if they get a cold or a virus or all these types of things, so it can deal with them and it can help them fight these infections or whatever kind of alignments they get, and that is really, really good. There's a story that I'm going to tell you. Basically, someone came to me and asked me for help with their dog. He had pancreatitis, he'd been to the vets, and they had loads and loads of trouble, couldn't help this dog, and if I'm honest, she was thinking about putting this dog down, as sad as that is. She come to me and then I helped her get her dog onto a diet that I believed would help her dog no end. A few days later, I mean just a few days later, she come running to me, gave me a big hug, and she said thank you so much. She goes, a few days ago I was thinking about putting my dog down, and now he's running around the garden full of life, and I could never have imagined our dog doing this, which, you know, to all us nutritionalists out there which have witnessed this happen, it's just incredible. It feels so good. Anyway, thank you. That is my positives and negatives. I hope I haven't rambled on too much to you. There's obviously a lot more negatives, more than likely, that you know of, and there's a lot more positives as well that you know of. Please do comment below if you have those negatives, positives, and if you would like me to answer them, ask a question and I will answer as much as I can about this topic. You'll notice at the beginning of this little short film that I had headphones on and I was sitting here listening to, well, I was listening to music basically. This is a coping mechanism for me. I'd like to talk about this because I mentioned about something I suffer with in my last film, and it is doing this as such. It is getting out there, sharing my knowledge with people. I struggle with this because I don't want to be judged, I guess, or I don't want to be judged badly. I'd love to be judged really goodly, but I don't want to be judged badly, but then good comes with bad. I'm rambling on. Anyway, I listen to music, so I put the headphones on and I'll sit there and I'll get lost in the music that I'm listening to. The music that makes you feel good will differ over a massive range, but you want to pick a song or something that makes you feel amazing. It gives you that buzz, it gives you that, right, yeah, I want to do better. So I just sit there, listen to that, and when I get the feeling of, right, let's do this, I take them off, hit pause, and I go for it. This is a coping mechanism for me, and it works, to be honest with you. It makes me feel good, and when you feel good, you can get a lot more done. Thank you for listening. Please do like, subscribe, share this video if you really liked it. I'll see you next time.